Now she should be here
Jackie,
3.
Anchorwoman.
That's the debate we're going to have.
Marilla, traffic and
I
weather.
think she should be here 33.
Jordan with sports. Heather with food and fashion. And this is Canada News.
Good morning, Canada. My name is Jacqueline Holmes, and this is Canada News. Today, our top story is a 9-year-old little girl. She can only see 3 centimeters in front of her. But now with eSight, she can see everything. Now let's watch a clip of how she's having. We're from Canada News. How are you doing with the new eSight?
It has really helped me. I went from not being able to see anything at all to being able to see everything in my classroom. Well, that's a really sweet story. Now let's go to Heather and Jordan with Man on the Street.
This is Heather with Man on the Street. Today we have Annabelle, and I'm going to be interviewing her about the differences between Canada and the U.S. Hi Annabelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm very swell.
That's good.
So, tell me, what's the differences about being Canada and the U.S.?
Canada and the U.S. are completely two different countries, okay? In Canada, it's more cold than in the U.S. You will be walking around and seeing a lot of fur coats and a lot of Ugg boots, and it's just a colder climate. Also, the size in Canada is very different because the citizens there are very, very, very different. You see, in the U.S., the people are more obese because there's a lot of fast foods like Culver's, McDonald's, KFC, like, you know, all those, the big ones. Burger King, oh man, that stuff will get you messed up. And in Canada, they're not as obese because, like, they're healthier. But you'll see some obese because they eat a lot of bacon, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's why.
That's interesting. And then, what's the government like in Canada?
The government is kind of different from the U.S. because in Canada, we don't really have a president. We have a prime minister. So that's, I feel, is a difference in Canada, and obviously in America you have a president like Obama.
That's very interesting. Is there anything that is important that we should know about Canada?
There is one thing that you should know, and that thing is, in America, y'all say soda, okay, and in Canada, we say pop, eh?
That wraps up our interview with Annabelle, and now to traffic and weather with Marilla.
And now for the weather. Here in Canada, it is usually cold all year round, but in spring and summertime, it could get as hot as 77 degrees, and in the winter and fall, it could be as cold as 19 degrees, and depending on where you are, it could snow any time of the year, but in December, November is usually where it starts to snow. And now for transportation. The 3 common forms of transportation are car, bus, and metro, or in the U.S., train. People use these forms of transportation to get anywhere they need to be in Canada.
And now here's Jordan with sports.
Hi, this is Jordan with your Sports Center. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Canada and their sports. Canada has a lot of sports, obviously. They have MMA, they have winter sports because it's typically cold, so they have enough time to do winter sports. They have tennis. If you watch tennis, you usually see all the the Canadian people in tennis. It's mainly for the girls, but you can see some guys. And they have racing, so like car racing is really big. But the main thing that they really, really focus on is hockey. Hockey, they won Stanley Cup in 1992 to 1993, and they've won the Stanley Cup 24 times. I don't know if you guys saw the game last night against the Blackhawks and the Maple Leafs, but I'm going to show you a clip last night of them obviously winning in the shootout last night. So let's watch it real quick.
Puck back, lower corner wide open. He makes no mistake. The Leafs up 2-1 in the shootout. Praise of Chicago. weaves his way in. Fires stopped by Sparks, a fist pump to end it. Toronto will grab their first win, 3-2 in a shootout over Chicago. Celebration all around for the Maple Leafs, who, the hosts of the tournament, are up to a 1-0.
Wow, did you see that shot? That's what I'm talking about. Woo woo! Yeah, go Maple Leafs. Okay, one more fun fact about Canada is that the Maple Leafs bring in more money than any other team in the US and Canada. Well, that's your sports for today, folks. Here's Heather with fashion and food.
Justin Bieber here. Hey, we're selling Uggs today. So come get your Uggs now. Yeah.
This is Heather here with your food and fashion. First, we'll be talking about fashion. So in Canada, mostly the fashion, since it's really cold outside most of the time, we wear coats. Furry coats that have lots of padding in them and have a little bit of fur assets on the hood to keep your ears nice and warm. And then we have your fashionable boots here. You have your men's style good for ice fishing and going out in the snow, and then you have your women's fashion for everyday use, going to the mall, and of course, you know, going grocery shopping and picking up the kids, and you know, for teenagers it's very fashionable for school, and little kids, you know, mostly have like the little pink boots and everything. And then also, big influence in music and fashion is Justin Bieber. Everyone might not know, but he's from Canada, so round of applause for Justin. And now to food.
Hey, are you hungry? Do you need something to eat? Grab some Canadian bacon today.
I'm hungry.
What a crave!
Food. So the main thing in Canada for food is poutine, and it's basically fries and cheese curds and gravy. And then, like, another thing for Canada is like their pride and joy is their maple syrup, and maple syrup originated in Canada, obviously, and you know, their hockey team's the Maple Leafs. And then, you know, just for kicks, you know, Canadian bacon. So Canadian bacon is ham, but you know, still cool. And then zucchini bread is another big thing that's in Canada. It's eaten at most like Thanksgiving and stuff for holidays, and it's really good. And for like fast food and stuff, we don't have as much fast food. And then, like Annabelle was saying earlier about how like we don't have as much. We have more sit-down restaurants with healthier meal choices. So that's your news for food and fashion.
That's your news for today. Right, Ode?